we have made it to closing day. This is a major day. It's super exciting because now this is the day that we transfer the keys over to you and you are done with the buying process. So we have gone through all of our pre-approval at the start. We have now gone to showings. We've put in an offer. It has been accepted, so ratified. We put in our EMD. We got our home inspection. We completed our termite and moisture. We completed our PICRA. Both parties agreed to both sides, and now we are off. We got our appraisal that checked out, and now we are moving forward into our closing day. So all you need to understand is by on closing day, that is the day where we are transferring over that property from the current seller to you. The main things we need to be prepared for on this day are, one, to get a lot of signing done, but two, we need to understand how much money we need to bring to closing. So all of the discussions about closing cost, they occur on this day. So along all of these steps, the appraisal, the PICRA, the home inspection, we have accumulated either credits or debits along this way. So maybe there's been negotiation where they gave us a $5,000 credit to replace the flooring or to replace the windows or just anything like that. Whatever it was for is put into the contract as a general compensation. So $5,000 to do what the buyer desires with that money. That credit goes on to the closing costs. So say there was $10,000 in closing costs, that $5,000 will come off of that, to where now instead of bringing $10,000 cash to the closing day, you only need to bring $5,000. And again, there's a dozen different line items that can occur during this transaction period that can become credits. But essentially the CD, the closing disclosure, is going to be the final document that we get a few days before closing to show you to the dollar what we need to bring on that day. And on closing day at that scheduled time, we'll meet at the title company and we need to bring a cashier's check for that amount, because that is the money that we're going to transfer over to the third party, and then they orchestrate all the transactions on the back end. Once we have paid those closing costs, we then sign all the documents to transfer over the property to you, and then you are handed the keys. So in Virginia, it's not the same with every state, but at closing day, when you are done signing, you get the keys and that property is then rightfully yours. So anything that happens after that, it is your responsibility and you are now a rightful owner of that property. And so that's the process from start to finish. I know it can seem kind of daunting, but when you're working with the realtor, it can make it much more simplified, because again, the realtor is going to be the master orchestrator. There are a ton of specialty companies that work alongside the realtors, but it's all coordinated with the realtor and then filtered out to you to make it seem a lot more simple on the surface. And then from here, we can have extensions. I have in the next section of this, kind of the bonus part of the boot camp is going to be how to win offers. So we'll go over a couple strategies and tactics that you can use to just make yourself more marketable about getting your offer accepted, because in this market, especially now, even now being the end of March 2023, we're still seeing houses go in the first week. And so you need to make your offer more marketable, because you can lose it on any sort of little stuff. So last week we put in an offer, just to give an example, and we had almost the same offer as far as what it would net the seller, but one offer put in that they would waive their home inspection. It would be for informational purposes only. And that was enough to beat out our offer. And so I want to give you a couple tips and tricks on how you can actually increase your likelihood of getting your offer accepted and moving into a ratified contract, as well as building on. I want to put additional, so they might be there now, or they will be there in the future, on what to do after closing. So what does that first week look like? What are going to be your home warranties? How do you utilize those? What are going to be the first 6 months? What are going to be the first year? What does that look like on paying your taxes, paying your property taxes? If you've only rented moving forward and this is your first purchase, you need to know how to when and what to pay and how that process works, because those are all very legitimate expenses that will be added to your yearly annual pay. So all those videos which should be up sooner than later. And I appreciate you sticking with me. Again, please go ahead and schedule a 15-minute call. If you've got any questions on specifics, just click the link. I'm more than happy to set 15 minutes aside to discuss whatever specific questions you may have. Otherwise, again, I appreciate you taking the time to go through this course, and hope to talk to you soon.